Welcome back to yet another historic Brawl deck. Today our commander is Grenzo, Crooked Jailer. So essentially what we're going to be doing with Grenzo is we're going to try and get it out there as quickly as possible to get the high stability going to where we'll be able to steal our opponent's stuff. So what we're going to be doing is having a lot of mana ramp such as Wayfarer's Bauble, having a lot of kill to where we won't be taking a lot of damage. We'll have a lot of cards that we'll be able to draw, some extras such as Call of the Ring, and I believe we do have a Phyrexian Arena in here as well. Yes, we do. And then also we'll be just running a lot of nuisance such as Terror of the Peak, so we'll be able to get some more advantage off of our opponent's creatures. Shielder just because it's a great annoyance card, and we do have some board wipes in here too to potentially essentially stall the game before our opponent gets going and to where we can get our Grenzo and then essentially win the game from that point with their own cards. So from that we'll be moving on to game 1 right now. Yet another game. We're going to be keeping this hand. This is a really nice hand here. We're going against Bristly Bill Spine Sower, so a fantastic new commander out of the OTJ set. So we are going to turn 1 play a Swamp into the Shadow Spear, then we're going to pass the turn after that. So most likely turn 2 drop is going to be the commander because, well, green has plenty of lands. So there it is, Bristly Bill, that's fine. And especially in this deck, specifically a landfall deck with +1/+1 counters, there's going to be plenty of lands and plenty of ways to get them. So the opponent is most likely going to play a creature first and then a land to where they can get the triggers. Okay, actually plays the land first, so maybe like a Cultivate or something to get even more triggers or something similar to that. Okay, well that's pretty much a Cultivate every turn, so that's pretty annoying. Forest into the Bristly Bill, just puts another +1/+1 counter on it. Swings in with a 4/4, which is what we're going to have to take here. Because I don't really want to get rid of our only mana dork that we have out there. Passes the turn. We do draw a removal, which I think I'm going to immediately use here. We're going to kill the Bristly Bill. Now, yes, there is plenty of ways that they can get it back, especially since it's such a cheap commander. However, with that being said, getting rid of it with the +1/+1 counters will prevent more damage, and they can't swing in with it next turn. And even if they do, they'll get the 2 +1/+1 counters back, and it's just going to be more of a slow waste of resources than it would be if we didn't kill it there. Alright, so let's see what they are going to play. Most likely a big creature, because if they have 2 extra lands, that's 6 mana total. If not, maybe ramp. Okay, Bristly Bill, that's fine. So let's see the land to get the landfall trigger to put a +1/+1 counter out there. Is there going to be any? It'll be strange if there isn't. Nothing. Passing turn? Wow. So that was a really good removal, and we did draw another one, which is potentially useful. However, I think that if we Phyrexian Arena here, and then we Heartless Act as well to get rid of the Bristly Bill, just to cause some more annoyance would be really good. And to prevent the commander from coming out there multiple times would also be very nice. Says nice as well. Yeah, that makes sense. We don't really want to have that out there, and just because of how little creatures that we have until we get the Grenzo out there, it's kind of concerning if we do not get rid of their cards really quickly. Which is why we're running so much removal. But plays a Balagad Sanctuary tapped. Anything else? Goldvein Hydra. Okay, so can potentially get treasures. Does have haste. So swings in for 5. We go down to 16. Passes turn. We lose a life. We draw a card. There's the swamp that we needed. Play the Grenzo. And we get one of their cards as well. Okay. Well, let's see. We could Scavenging Ooze just to get the extra stuff, but Rishkar is really nice just to have out there. And with the slight boost that it gives, we can have Grenzo be protected from the Goldvein Hydra. So we're going to do that. We're going to do 1 on Grenzo and 1 on Rishkar, just to where we can kind of prevent that from happening. The Bristly Bill is most likely going to come out here almost immediately, just because that is the entire deck, and we do have a response to it with Noxious Gearhulk, and we will be able to gain some life off of it as well, if it is boosted by any means. Or they might have another play. Green does have a lot of tricks up their sleeves with monsters, that is. The Great Henge. Or I should say creatures. So as 3 mana to work with. Whoa, that was strange. 3 mana to work with. Ramunap Excavator? Okay, so you can get the land cards back from the graveyard. However, it won't really matter. I think he just wanted to get the card draw off of it. He's not going to swing in since it'll kill his Goldvein Hydra. Okay. We could cultivate... Ooh. Actually, Scavenging Ooze is really nice. Draw an Eye of Vecna and a Burnished Heart. So nothing too fantastic. We're going to play the Terror of the Peaks here. And then we're also going to play the Scavenging Ooze for 0. Get the Terror of the Peaks. We're going to pop the Asusa, because that's a very annoying card. We do have 3 open mana that we could use, but I don't think it's very necessary. We aren't going to swing in. I guess we'll exile with Scavenging Ooze as well with the Rishkar, since we won't be blocking with that anytime soon. And even if we did need to use it for blockers, we do have plenty of other options. But getting rid of any of the really annoying cards, especially permanently with the exiling, is very nice. Plays the Bristly Bill. That's fine. Enters with the +1/+1 counter and you draw a card. That's alright. The Great Henge does those kind of things. Did you get the land? You did. Okay. So that was a really good idea, getting rid of the Asusa. Boosts the Goldvein Hydra. So now he can swing it if he wants to with it. And we probably won't block. If we do, it would be with Scavenging Ooze, just because it's not super useful since we won't get exile, or we won't be able to get exile stuff off of it, just because it is green mana, or at least easily. I mean, Rishkar does allow that to go through, and it can add mana, so some of our stuff does have Convoke, essentially, only for green. Does pass the turn though. Grenzo triggers. I think this is a pretty easy option. With the Ancient Green Warden, we draw a Mountain for Phyrexian Arena, and we draw a perfect card to go with Phyrexian Arena, so we will no longer be losing life. We get to do 4. So I'm going to get rid of the Bristly Bill here. And then we're also going to play the Ancient Green Warden. And we're going to kill that as well. The Goldvein Hydra, that is. Does get a lot of treasure tokens, however, he has plenty of mana to work with anyways. We're going to equip Shadow Spear to the Grenzo to potentially start getting in some damage, and no, he cannot kill the Grenzo off of this. So let's see if you're going to block. Does not block. We do gain 8 life, so we're up to 22. And we could do like a Worn Power Stone or something like that, but I don't think we really need that extra mana. So I guess I'll pass the turn. So let's see what is going to happen. There's plenty of mana for him to work with. Pings off of Sheoldred. One of the most recently annoying cards. And probably will stay that way for a long time. Bristly Bill comes back out there. That's fine. We do have a response for it with the Noxious Gearhulk. Sheoldred triggers since the draw, loses 2 life. Essentially just brought himself back with the Great Henge, gaining some and then losing some off of Sheoldred. 7 mana total, 8 mana now to work with. Boosts the Ramunap Excavator. Will not swing in unless it's going to be boosted a little more, so gets an Elysian Caryatid. So still 6 mana to work with. Loses more life off of Sheoldred. He's just basically digging for hope at this point. And we know that at least one of the cards he has in his hand is the one that allows him to draw a lot, thanks to our Grenzo's ability. Portalid. Okay, so potentially more lands are going to be coming out. Sheoldred triggers. Bring him down to 15. quite a long ways from the top where he was at the beginning of this turn at 21. Most likely doing a fertilid trigger to get another land out there to boost another creature to potentially swing in. But even if he does, I do have the Ancient Greed Warden in response that can get rid of it. Sacks 1. Sacks 2 treasures. Are you just going to do the fertilid? Puts 1 back, doesn't mean to. Okay, so not doing the fertilid's ability. Or will you? Keep looking at it. I mean, the 1 land is tempting, just to get the extra +1/+1 counter out there. But in my opinion, wasting the extra treasures isn't really worth it. 2 treasures for 1 land is... I mean, I guess you get the land every turn, the treasures you don't. And decides to concede. So that was a really quick game. We just held control for most of it, and with the Shieldred, I think it just kind of screwed him over. Moving on to the next game. Another game, our hand is not looking great. This is better, just due to the Arcane Signet we have. We're going to play a Swamp, we're going to say hello, and then we're going to pass the turn. Going against a new OTJ commander, similar to mine, but mine's out of the, basically, extension set out of it. It's not even in Paper Magic. It's only on Arena. Plays an Elvish Mystic, so it has some early ramp, that's fine. Plays a Bristly Bill. Nice. Play the land. Yep. Probably boosts itself. Oh no, the Elvish Mystic. Okay, that is an issue. Nykthos. So we'll be able to get his commander out fairly quickly if he does get the right cards, that is. We're going to play the Rankle here, and then we're going to swing in with the 3/3 Fairy Rogue in the air. We are going to, I guess, just draw. We're going to dig a little deeper, and that's okay. We did draw a mountain, which is really good for us, but I'm a little nervous on what our opponent drew. If they have the blue land, it's going to be essentially 2 turns where they'll be able to get it back out there, or the commander, that is. But they are a little slow, like us getting the commander out there, since it does take quite a bit of mana. However, with Simic, it's not really an issue with mana ramp. Questing Beast. Okay. So that's going to be shot with the Shoot the Sheriff card. Actually, the Doomblade is going to be even better. Well, since he does have no non-black creatures, well, yeah, since he doesn't have any black creatures, we're just going to Shoot the Sheriff, the Questing Beast, in case he does have any outlaws. And we could get rid of the Bristly Bill as well, but I don't see much of a point. We're going to lose life, draw a card, draw a Braids, which, I mean, that's nice. We could be really annoying and start sacking lands, but I don't think there's any point in that right now. We'll just leave it in case he does have enough mana to play his commander. If he does have the blue, plays a snow-covered forest. Okay, boosts the Bristly Bill. So he's coming in hot with 6 at least. Unless we kill it with Doomblade. Glimpse the Corp. Okay. So we can get another forest out there. So he is getting sort of mana screwed since he doesn't have any islands. He does have a Plaza of Heroes though, which is a little concerning. It's out of the wilds. Gets another forest. Okay, Bristly Bill is going to be coming in hot, so I think we're going to have to kill that. Yeah, he swings in. We're going to kill it with the Doomblade here. So there goes the Bristly Bill. Draw a mountain. We're going to place said mountain into Grenzo. So there's our commander. Grenzo will trigger. And I don't think there's much of a... Well, I mean, Goreclaw is just really nice. But so is the Great Door. I don't even want to try to pronounce the first former permanent, so I think we have to go with Goreclaw. That's kind of hard to pass up on. It's such a green card, and it's really hard to get rid of, especially with it essentially just cheapening the costs of all the really big creatures that we can get. We could make him sack to lose that, but I don't think there's much of a point in doing anything. I don't want to give him any extra advantage, especially since, okay, there's the snow-covered island. I didn't want to give any extra advantage since we do have a pretty decent hand, especially with Grenzo being a second card draw essentially every turn for really, really cheap. Bonnie Paul comes out there. Has a huge, well, huge, what is this, ox? I was about to say cow, but it's about the same thing. Okay, we're going to play the Chimley here because that is a fantastic card. We're also going to play the Painful Quandary. We're going to Dark Ritual into the Braids. And we are also going to play Kaya's Ghost Form targeting Grenzo. And then we're going to swing in with 3 in the air. Oh, that does have reach. That was a misplay by my part. That's okay. Chimley will do its thing. Skyclave Relic. Just get that. I don't think we could have done the kicker, and even if we could have, that's fine. There really isn't anything that is worth sacrificing, so I don't think we're going to do that. I should have just waited to sacrifice the Ranko. That would have been a really good play. He would have got rid of the Elvish Mystic, which is fine. Most likely discarding a card, because I don't think he wants to go down to 9 life. Discards Field of Ruin. Restless Vinestalk. Okay, so it can be a creature land. Makes something else a creature as well. That's interesting. Any cards going to come out there? Or are you just going to go to swing in? Because swinging with the bow would be a really nice play. Just since I don't have a lot of responses for it. Ooh! Shuriken Goreclaw. Nice. So everything has trample now. Swings in with everything. Wow, okay. So the question is do we... Wow, I don't know if we... This is really hard to deal with. We're going to... We're at 17, which is not great. We're going to block the Ox and... Well, we're going to just block the Ox with Grenzo and Braids. We're going to block the Bonnie Paul with the Goreclaw. So we're going to get the Grenzo back. Thanks to Kaya's Ghost Form. We do get a trigger off of it. Ooh, Vorinclex isn't bad. Plays it into the North. Painful Quandary triggers. He has to discard or lose 5 life. He loses 5 life. So that other card in his hand must be pretty nice. It's an island. Okay, Grenzo will trigger. Oh, well, that's not that hard to choose from. Hello, Old Gnawbone. Play a mountain into Old Gnawbone for 0. And we'll also play Vorinclex for 5. We get 2 force cards, but we have none in here. Failed to search. Chimley. Power Word Kill. We're going to target the Shuriken Goreclaw, because that is extremely annoying, and it could cost us the game if we did not get rid of it right then. What are you going to play? Is it going to be something ridiculous? Looking at Chimley, so he might have a destruction for an artifact. He does, but he has to lose 5 life or discard a card. Which will be the last time that will be triggering. Discard the Jin Cataxius. Okay. And looks like he's just going to pass a turn. Yep, he does. Grenzo will trigger. Get to Heist. Ooh, Rhystic Study is not bad. It's a little late, but Garruk's Uprising isn't terrible either. I think we're going to do Rhystic Study just to be really annoying. Even though they do have a lot of mana. Maybe that wasn't the greatest play. We could have got a Garruk's Uprising. We're going to swing in with the Old Gnawbone since, even though the Bonnie Paul does have reach, just hopefully getting rid of it will be nice. Restless Vinestalk. You're going to block with a land? No, just blocks with Bonnie Paul. Okay. So he will be able to get his commander out next turn, almost definitely. Because he wants the bow back out there, and that's essentially the entire engine. Plays a forest, plays his commander, Ristic Study triggers, most likely pays the 1. He does. Bonnie Paul comes out there, it's 11-11 bow. Thank goodness it doesn't have any trample anymore. Ooh, Oko is extremely good. I'm going to take that. And a Shieldred. Fantastic. A great card. Oko is going to come out here for the 0. Let's see. Oh, there's no point in plussing it. Since... Well, let's do Oko for a... Well, I guess we'll plus it just to work to the ultimate. We cycle draw, discard 2. But we do get to have 2 Shieldred triggers. Oh, I guess we don't have to discard 2. We're going to choose Old Gnawbone, although it can't attack. Oh, that was a dumb play. Well, I guess we'll keep the OG. Wasn't going to help us much anyways. Since this is legendary, I guess we can swing in. Blocks with the Bonnie Paul again. Okay. And then we'll pass back to him. So we do have a ticking time bomb with Shieldred out there. So he's going to have to be forced to take 2. Unless he has something that can gain life. Ristic Study will trigger here. It's going to be almost game over in 4 turns. Almost certainly. Does pay the 1, up the beanstalk, okay. Gets to draw another card. So, in 3 turns actually, plays a forest into Bonnie Paul. Ristic Study triggers. Does he have another open mana source? He does with the Elvish Mystic. We are going to draw a card to a Baleful Mastery, which is really fun. So, making him go down to 3 life. We're going to make him pay the student's cost, just to make him draw another card. We're going to exile the Bonnie Paul. Loses some more life off of Shieldred. Thank you, Shieldred, for existing. Goes down to 1 life. Chooses the one that was created, I believe, and decides to concede. So that was a fantastic game. The Shieldred really just brought it to an end. We were really in control for most of it. The only issue was the bow coming out there when we didn't have much of a response. However, we were able to stay in, moving on to the next game. Yet another game. Our hand is not looking great, so we're going to mulligan that there. That's quite a bit better, so we're going to keep that. We do have a nice tutor with Varragoth, a kill with Cut Down, Braids for Annoyance, and another removal with Noxious Gearhulk for a lot later of a turn. Going against Ovika, Enigma Goliath. Okay, so that's a really nice target for a kill spell. Plays a mountain turn 1 that is covered with snow. We'll play the Haunted Ridge, then we're going to pass the turn. So most likely a lot of non-creature removal or bait spells. So a lot of counters, a lot of removal with red, a lot of damage. And potentially some Phyrexian or Goblin tribal. Midnight Clock for some extra ramp. It's a counter on it. We draw a Wayfarer's Bauble. So we will play the Swamp into Varragoth. Then we will pass the turn. Midnight Clock gets another trigger. So next turn we'll be swinging in with Varragoth, hopefully. If he doesn't have a bounce or a shock or something like that, we'll kill it. Like a Lightning Strike. Or Lightning Bolt. 4 mana to work with, though, is going to be really annoying to get around, since the amount of counter spells that are, well, 3 at least, are just really annoying. So still has access to counter spells, even with Replicating Ring out there. Is he going to play something else? Fire Prophecy. Okay. So kills the Varragoth. It's just annoying more than anything. We draw a Swamp. Okay, we'll play a Swamp into Wayfarer's Bauble. Sack the Bauble. going to grab a mountain, and we'll pass a turn. So next turn, unless he has land destruction, which is present in red, we'll be able to get our commander out there. But if he also has another land, he can play his, which is also an issue. I don't think I can cut down this. No, it's a 6/6 with flying. Of course it is. Okay, creates 2 treasure tokens, so has plenty of mana to play his commander next turn, at least. If he really wants to. Unless he somehow wastes it on, I don't even know, just sacrificing artifacts to get extra cards, which I don't even think is in red or blue. Hedron Archive comes out there, so even more mana to work with, which will be nice for him later. And he does have that open 3 mana for a potential counter spell. Will he do anything else? Second main is hard to decide if you're going to play a last minute card. Okay, does nothing. We draw a Shieldred. We're going to play the Swamp into Grenzo, hopefully. Let's see the counter spell. Nothing. Okay, Grenzo does trigger. Maybe a big shock or something like that. With 3 open mana. River's Rebuke will be really nice for later. So we'll do that. We'll keep it in our hand. There's no reason to use it immediately. And then we'll pass the turn. Since our opponent doesn't know what it is, we'll just see how much he commits out to the battlefield. Do they have haste too? Oh, of course they do. So that's going to be a big issue when it comes out there, which it is going to come out here this turn. Yep, he casts it. 3 open mana to work with to potentially get a non-creature. Nothing. Okay, we're going to Doomblade immediately on the Ovika. That's fine. We'll pay 3 life and pay 3 just to get rid of that thing. It's really annoying. He most likely has a counter spell or protection spell. If he doesn't, that's just going to be kind of strange. But with the amount of turns that he could have folded or held a counter spell, it does make sense on why you would use it right now on the Doomblade. Okay, does not. He will have enough mana to play it again, but we do have an answer with Noxious Gearhulk or Shieldred if needed. And we also have one now with River's Rebuke. We are going to heist... I guess we'll heist the Chandra. That's such a good card. Draw Bolas' Citadel, so play the Chandra for 0. Okay. We're going to just plus the Chandra. Get 2 mana in any colors that we want, so we'll do 1 black, 1 red. And I guess we will also play the Braids here. Although we won't do anything with it. There's no reason in sacrificing something that we don't have. He pretty much has everything that we do not have except lands, which is not the best move since we have exactly 6, which is going to be nice for Bolas' Citadel or Noxious Gearhulk. Or if our Chandra dies, though, then that means that we'll be losing a mana producer. Okay, plays the Ovika again. We'll keep the Wash Away. Draw a Mountain. We're going to play the Shieldred here, which will be nice since it does not target. So he's forced to sacrifice the Ovika here, which is really good for us. And he decides to concede. So that was a pretty quick game. We controlled the game for most of it because just our constant removal on his Ovika, which was his main goal, was really nice to have. And getting the Grenzo engine and having the 2 extra cards for the counter and the River's Rebuke was just really nice. Moving on to the next game. Another game, our hand is looking actually quite nice, so we're going to keep that. We have some pretty quick early mana ramp with Wayfarer's Bauble and Ornithopter of Paradise. We're going against a Miral Shield of Argive. That's a fantastic Brawl commander on here. If you haven't checked my video on that, you definitely should. It's a really fun commander to run, similar to Grenzo, but it poops out a lot of tokens really quickly, and it's kind of hard to deal with if you don't have the right responses to it, especially with its first ability to where you cannot really do anything on their turn. So plays a Valiant Veteran, so can boost all soldiers now, which, I mean, is nice. We are going to do the Swamp into the Shieldred, because we need to get the Annoyance going as soon as possible. And we need to have the Meat Hook Massacre, which will be so nice for later. We just kind of need to keep it, unless he has something that will make us discard. I highly doubt that we'll be having much worries with the Meat Hook Massacre. Plays a Desert. Okay. So let's see. Nothing else. That's a little sketchy. We're going to play the Swamp here into... I guess we can do Wayfarer's Bauble to sack to get a mountain, since we only have one of those, and 3 swamps. So next turn we will hopefully get our commander, unless Ornithopter is dead. Well, actually it doesn't matter, since we do have the Agadeem's Awakening for another land. Shieldred does trigger, making him lose 2 more life. He's down to 21. Depopulate. Okay, so speaking of which, our Ornithopter is gone. We draw a Ravenous Chupacabra, which will be nice for later. We're going to pay 3 life to have the Undercrypt enter untapped. Grenzo comes out here. We're going to get a... Ooh, this is kind of hard to choose from. I think either Gideon Black Backblade or Soul Warden will be really nice. I think we will do Gideon Backblade. We'll cast it for 0. And then we are going to plus it. We're going to choose the Grenzo. I guess we'll just give it Indestructible. And then we'll pass the turn. Having the removal with that will also be very nice, since it can do any non-land permanent. Although most of his stuff is going to be creatures like Mural. Plays the Mural, okay. Grenzo will heist. We are going to do definitely the Soul Warden here. That's such a hard card to pass up with the amount of benefit you can get off of it. We're going to play that right now. Then we're also going to play the Ravenous Chupacabra. Then we're going to target the Mural. Get rid of that. We do not want that thing attacking in whatsoever. Soul Warden will trigger. We gain a life. And then we are going to plus Gideon again, giving Grenzo lifelink.
Share in my light.
Go to combat, swing in for a total of 10. We're going to be gaining 6 life, bringing him down to 11, bringing ourselves up to 31. So a 20 life difference between me and my opponent. Fateful Absence. Okay, we get to investigate. That's fine. Put the Grenzo back into our command zone. Let's see if he's going to play another. Okay, plays a Herald's Horn. We're going to get rid of that with Braids next turn after sacrificing the clue to it. Go to attackers. Now it's our turn. So no threats out there. Play the Braids. We'll also play the Palladium Mirror here as well. We're going to do Gideon Backblade. Choosing, sure, Ravenous Chupacabra with
I believe in you.
Lifelink. Swing in for a total of 7. Bring him down to 4 life. We'll sacrifice the clue here. He's forced to sacrifice the Herald's Horn unless he wants to cut his life in half. We get to draw a card. And that's what he does. So Gideon goes back. He just wants that extra value. Plays a Plains. Okay. He has to have a board wipe or something. But even then, Gideon's going to be a large issue unless he can get rid of that too. Looking at Palladium Mirror. Creates 3 1/1s. We get to gain life off of those thanks to Soul Warden, the one that we stole. We draw a Hedron Archive. He says good game. I guess I'll say good game back. Since he doesn't have much of a response to anything, we'll play the Meat Hook Massacre for 2. We'll pay 2. There goes all of his stuff. And that will be a really quick game. So that was a fantastic game. We were controlling for almost all of it. Yes, I did have fun in this match, and we're going to move on to the next one. The final game, we are going to definitely keep this hand. It's really nice. Going against Aragorn the Uniter. I've also made a commander on this. If you have not checked him out. It's a really fantastic card. It gets out of hand very quickly with the amount of multicolored triggers you can get. Play command tower, pass the turn. It's really fun. It gets chaotic quickly. Plays an island. Okay, we get to breach the multiverse. We're going to play a swamp into a Call of the Ring here. Then we'll pass the turn. So, plays a forest into Arwen, Mortal Queen. Draw a card. Well, we get to get the Ring Tempt trigger. We're going to play a mountain here into the Burnished Heart. So he most likely has a mountain or something that can get him a mountain, because that's just too good. Yep, he gets it. There's the Aragorn. And this is where the issue begins. Call the Ring. We will pay 2 life to draw 2 swamps. Wow, that's not great. We are going to, I guess, go to combat, not swing in, pass the turn. Hope that he doesn't have a multicolored spell, but this deck definitely does. Lorn of the Third Path, okay, creates a 1/1. And he gets to destroy target artifact or enchantment. Targets the Call of the Ring. Yeah, that makes sense. It's a slower Phyrexian arena. Go to attackers. Swings in with a 5/5 and the 2/2. We're going to go blockers. We're going to block the 5/5. During this step, we should be able to sacrifice. Yep, we will sacrifice the Burnished Heart after blockers declared, so we won't take that extra 5 damage, and we'll be only taking 2. Choose a swamp and a mountain to come out there. Take a total of 2 damage. Draw a card. The question is, do we play Grenzo or Breach the Multiverse? Because Breach the Multiverse is a fantastic card. I think Grenzo might have a little more value right now. Grenzo triggers. Let's see what we get. We'll go with the... We'll go with the Palantir of Ornthonk. We're going to get that out there. Palantir is a fantastic draw source. And potential ability to burn our opponent. Palantir triggers. Ooh. We'll keep the Thought Distortion on top. Let's see if he gives it to us or if he mills it. If he mills it, he's going to take 6. Which I don't think he wants to do. But he doesn't know that. Well, he took 6. He's down to 20. And that's how a lot of people learn lessons, is through pain. War of the Last Alliance. So he gets to create another 1/1. Gets to search for a legendary creature card and puts it to his hand. Let's see which one he's going to get. Gets a Boromir. So he can give all of his creatures indestructible at instant speed, which is really quite annoying. We are not going to block the Aragorn here. And then, does he just pass the turn? Yep, he does. Okay, Grenzo will trigger. You're going to do... Ooh. Gandalf the White or Lagrella. We're going to do Lagrella here to have the exile. So we're going to do Breach the Multiverse. See what we can get off of this. Okay, I did see a Ravenous Chupacabra. So we're going to do that. And our opponent's Wandering Emperor. Perfect. We're going to destroy the Lorn of the Third Path.
And I will protect my people.
Okay, we both draw a card just to get some last minute value off of it. So that's going to die. We're going to Wandering Emperor -2 to exile the Aragorn. And we'll gain 2 life, so we're back up to 18. So a little more comfortable on our life total. Play Mountain into Lagrella for 0. We will be exiling the Arwen. Since indestructible doesn't really matter when that's dead. We're not going to do anything else. We just want to do the Lagrella, submit 1. Okay, there we go. That should be it, unless he does do Arwen. Gives it indestructible and lifelink. So we're not going to swing in just to give him, to potentially not give him that extra value. 2 lands is not what we're looking for off of Palantir. And he mills 2, takes another 6 life, down to 14. War of the Last Alliance. It's another legendary creature. Let's see which one he decides to get. A Ruby Daring Tracker. What's this do? Okay, it's a haste mana dork, which is pretty cool. And also it can boost itself if there's a big bad wolf out there. So Urza's Silex is not good, because that is a ticking time bomb of a board wipe. I think we'll do the Anduril here. Draw a Mountain. Okay, we need to get rid of the Silex. If we don't, let's see. We do have a board wipe too. Okay, I don't know if we're going to do that. We're definitely going to boost the Emperor. Oh, we do have a removal for it. Okay, that's good. Choose Grenzo, gains first strike, whatever. Play the Braids here. We're going to sacrifice the Anduril when it comes out here, just because we don't really need it that much. We'll also play Terror of the Peaks. I should have played that backwards, but that's okay. We are not going to swing in. Braids will trigger, but we're going to choose Palantir to trigger first. We can get our own Palantir of Orthok here. So we're going to let him choose if we want to get our own Palantir. Let's see it. He mills 3, taking 5 life. We are going to sacrifice the Anduril here, forcing him to sacrifice the Urza's Silex unless he loses 2 life, bringing him down to 7, which he does end up doing. War of the Last Alliance triggers, so he just wants the board wipe to potentially help him win the game. So swings in with the 2/2 Double Strike and Lifelink. I'm assuming the 1/1. He might just swing in with everything. Nope, he doesn't. So we'll block it with the 2/2 Ravenous Chupacabra here. Is he just going to Silex? Let's see it. Yep, he does. Okay, that's fine. So he's going to pay another 2. It's the Wandering, or the Eternal Wanderer. So we get to choose 6 lands we control, and then we destroy everything else. So we'll choose the Command Tower, 2 swamps, and actually 3 swamps, 2 mountains. Arwen comes back. We're gonna put our commander back in the command zone. Draw an Arcane Signet. Choose Cavern of Souls. We are going to choose a Rogue here, just where we can hopefully get our commander out in a few turns. Choose Rogue. We'll play the Arcane Signet. We'll also play the Prosper Tomebound as well as the Thoughtseize. So let's see what you have in your hand. We're going to be getting rid of that Eternal Wanderer almost definitely. Yeah, there's nothing else that's much of a problem. There goes Eternal Wanderer. We'll lose 2 life thanks to Thoughtseize's last ability text, basically. Horn of Gondor, though, is going to also be a big issue. Okay. Gonna draw a swamp. Okay. Aragorn comes out there. Alright. Is that it? Yep, it is. Okay, we're going to play the Exiled Swamp, I guess, with Prosper Tomebound, to where we can get our commander out there. Unless he does have something like a Mana Tithe. Oh wait, we know everything in his hand. Play the Grenzo here. Hope for something big off of our opponent. Let's see what we can get. I guess we'll do Pippin, because that can be potentially useful for later. We'll play the Pippin here. We're going to get a Prosper Tomebound trigger to create another treasure token. And I guess we'll also Baleful Mastery. No, we'll wait for the Baleful Mastery. We're not going to swing in, and then we're just going to pass the turn. Prosper Tomebound will trigger at the end step. We're going to get a Bitter Triumph, which is pretty nice. And since our opponent knows it, he knows that we have a removal. which I don't know if he's going to swing in. Boromir. Okay, well, we're going to immediately Baleful Mastery that. So we're going to exile that Aragorn. We will lose... Well, we won't lose any life. He's going to draw a card. I was thinking of the Bitter Triumph, which we did not play. So there that goes. We're going to get that trigger. Create a... Well, he creates a 1/1. He gets the Boromir out there. He does not have his commander, but he has a potential to give everything indestructible with Boromir, which is not good for us. So he plays a Riders of the Mark, so it's a 7/4 with Trample and Haste. Ooh, okay, and swings in with that. Alright, we're going to block with the Rider, or we're going to block with the Prosperous of the Tomebound. Riders of the Mark. Wow, I'm just getting confused. Okay, we're down to 13. Grenzo will heist. That is nothing. I mean, Phial of Galadriel is nice. Or we can just do Elrond to scry. We'll just do Phial to get some extra mana. Why not? Draw a Swamp. Okay. We'll play the Phial of Galadriel for 0. Oh, that's actually kind of a big issue. We're going to do Bitter Triumph. We're going to discard a card, choose the Boromir. We need to get rid of that thing. Either way, he's probably going to instant sacrifice it to get the indestructible ability on all of his stuff, which is fine. We'll let him do that. Yeah, that's cool. Alright. So we won't get the Phial of Galadriel, but we needed to shut that down since without our basically entire engine, there's no point in continuing on, because that's just going to be a lot of damage dealt to us. We won't be able to recover. Without Grenzo, we won't be able to run the deck, essentially. Plays in Eomer of Rittermark. Okay, so it also has haste, but no trample. Horn of Gondor. Okay, that's a large issue. Creates a 1/1. Okay. Go to attackers. Swings in with everything. Alright. Draws, then discards a card. And we're going to go to blockers. So we're going to block the 1/1 with Pippin. If we can. Oh, we can't be blocked because it's the Ring Bearer. Okay, never mind. We're going to block the 5/4 with Grenzo. And then we are going to go to that. Choose Pippin. We're going to do Grenzo. We're going to choose Creature. Alright, we'll take a little bit of damage. We're down to 9 life. Okay. So, equipped creature can't be blocked. Alright, we'll get that. We get a Shadow Spear too. Actually, we might be able to do something with this. We're going to Pippin here. Choose this. It's the Grenzo. And have it protection from sorcery. We are going to play the Deadly Cover-Up. We are going to collect evidence. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 5, 6. Okay, yeah, we can do that. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Destroy everything. Oh, well, Grenzo died. I guess since destruction. So that was a misplay on my part. That's okay. It doesn't matter. It will for later. We'll end search. And then we'll throw the commander back in the command zone. We'll play the Bilbo's Ring, as well as the Shadow Spear. And then we'll pass the turn, since that was a huge misplay. So Jace reawakened. Okay, that's fine. You can get whatever that is. Elrond does nothing. So Aragorn's going to be the only big issue out there, and since that is a human, he will be able to get the Horn of Gondor triggers. I don't know why I didn't swing in there. Aragorn. Okay. Go to attackers. It doesn't have haste, thankfully. Now it's our turn. We draw an Eye of Vecna. We are going to play the Grenzo here. Grenzo will trigger. Let's see what we get. Most likely useless stuff. Okay. We might... Ooh. We're going to do the Scroll of Isildur here. The reason being is we'll be able to control the Horn of Gondor, which is a great move. I'm going to choose the Horn of Gondor. We're going to take control of it, since we do not want that getting through. And the ring does tempt us, so Grenzo is our ring bearer now, and then we'll pass the turn. Shadow Spear of his own. Okay, that's fine. I probably could have killed him by now. So equips the Shadow Spear to the Aragorn. So we're going to be taking 6 damage. At least. Plays a Jace Reawakened. Gets to scry some cards. Okay, that's fine. Because I don't really want to block with the Grenzo, just because of the amount of value and the potential to win the game off of it. Keeps him at the top, so might have rearranged him. He exiles a non-land permanent with 3 or less. Okay, so he's choosing the Scroll of Isildur. Which, that's okay. Oh, wait. What did he do? Oh, he gets to plot it. Okay, that's fine. I thought it was targeting something else on my battlefield. So we're going to take 6. Going down to 3. Hope that he doesn't have something red. Well, he doesn't have any red mana, so that's okay. He's up to 18 life. Now it's our turn. We get to heist their library. That's nothing. We can do Limbas just to get the extra life off of it. I guess that's what we'll do. Oh wow, what a perfect top deck. So we'll do that. We'll submit 1. Well, I guess the stun counter will keep it like that for a little bit. So we'll play the Limbas for 0. Alright, we get to scry 1, then draw. We'll put the Wayfarer's Bauble at the bottom. Dry Swamp. Play Set Swamp. Going to equip the Shadow Spear to Grenzo. And we are also going to... Let's see. Ooh. We'll do the Bilbo's Ring as well. We're going to go to sacrifice the Lembas. And then we will gain the 3 life. Now we're going to go to combat. Swing in 4 or for 7 at our opponent. Draw a card, lose a life. Then we have to discard. We're going to discard the Cold Steel Heart. So we're down to 5 life. Go to damage. Brings down to 11. We're up to 12. And we could Horn of Gondor here for 0. But there's no point in doing that. We could destroy... Well, we can't do anything. We're just going to pass the turn. Why are you looking at your own card? You should know what that card does. Plays Elrond for 0. Gets to scry 2. Keeps them both at the top. Gets to scry 1 off of Elrond, so most likely keeping it at the top. Yep. So he might plus Jace just to get the extra ability. Okay, Gandalf triggers, creates a 1/1. That's fine, yep. Okay, so we're good there. Gandalf is going to trigger, do his thing. That's cool. Elrond's going to do his thing. Keeps it at the top, I'm assuming, twice. Yep. Oh, puts it at the bottom this time. Wow. Changing it up. Okay. Jace reawaken. But he's not going to plot anything. And then he passes the turn. So Grenzo will trigger. We're going to heist their library. Ooh, I guess we will do the Rosy Cotton just to get the extra life total. And then we're going to play... Well, we're going to get the Scroll of Isildur trigger. And then we'll play the Swamp. And then we're going to see what we're going to do here. Okay, we get a Cosmos Elixir, which is a potential... I guess we'll play the Walk the Plank here, targeting the Aragorn to kill it. We had to do that, since that is potential for death. The Horn of Gondor's here. Okay, that's fine. We'll let that do its thing. And he decides to concede. So that was a quite contested Game 5. There was a lot of different conflicts back and forth. We had a chance to potentially win the game, but after some trials and tribulation and potentially getting lucky with the kill spells, we were able to overcome. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. And if you want to check out any of the other videos on my channel, it would also be greatly appreciated too. Thank you for watching again.